I struck the ball, Shakespeare, oh yeah. I was going to send the ball, that would have fetched it. But now, I scream. That's cool with this job. It's like I had a series called Sushi Back, and on that series, I played a small blob of inarticulating, crime-fighting wasabi.
Woo!
And you know, that was my job. And I do a lot of those jobs. About 3/4 of the things I do, I don't actually speak. I'm reading books. Don't make me get off.
Just keep going, Scott. We're good.
Stand and pace. It's going to be one of those shows. What's the deal?
What is with these people?
Come on, cowbell. Okay. Take our hand, actually. Oh, okay. I'm getting this. But... It worked!
This is for all you guys. Have you ever got cast for a character where at first you were like, oh, really? And then you ended up loving the character? Or vice versa?
That usually happens after the first paycheck.
I think ones that you're like surprised you got cast as. I don't think I've ever had one that I was like, wah. Cast as. Yeah, I don't care what it is. Yeah, gosh, I'm not allowed to talk about that. One in particular that, yes, I was extremely surprised to be cast as, and it hands down is my favorite role I've ever played, and is the single most exciting thing I've ever done in the booth. And none of you will ever know it's me.
Aww.
Turn your cameras off.
Yeah, I've tried that one.
I don't trust any of you. Yeah, let everybody know. Yeah. Next.
I had kind of the reverse experience at one point where a character that I started off really liking, by the end I had to kind of change an opinion of. And it had really nothing to do with, I don't know, it was more extraneous circumstances. You know, Transformers Energon, anybody ever watch that show? I played Kicker. And, you know, growing up, I grew up with Transformers, so I was so excited to get on to Transformers. And, you know, I wasn't one of the Transformers, but I was a kid who actually got to fight alongside the Transformers and kick a little tail, right? And yeah, he had a cool suit that had, you know, fancy like logo on it and stuff, and there were action figures and everything, so I was super excited. And then I got some feedback on what people thought of the character, and so many people hated him so much. And then I'm like, okay, maybe he's not as cool as I thought he was.
Got a logo!
Yeah, and he could sense Energon. I don't know, I thought that was pretty badass. But apparently he's a bit too whiny and he's kind of a prick. But I don't care, I got to be on Transformers, so me.
I'm always surprised when I get hired. Like, really? Have you thought this through? All right. You know, and I don't complain. There was once I ended up doing Merman on we did He-Man and the Masters of the Universe back in like 2002 somewhere in the remake, and I was Stan, Ram-Man, Clawful, Cobra Khan, Stratos, and all the other. You know, and Merman I balked at. This is sort of, you know, an inversion of that, where I went. There's a guy in town, Ted Cole, who was Gouvet on Gundam. When I first started working this thing, actually the first job I ever did was the New Adventure Speed Man back in the 80s. And Ted can do that water cooler bubble voice. It's weird. It's like, you know, where does that come from? And I went in there, and, you know, and I ended up getting Merman. I'm going, why don't you do this? There was a person in town, and I know I'm shooting my ass into my ass. You know, I'm going, don't. You know, as much as I would love to do everything in the world, and there's a lot of stuff I can do, I went, there's a way better choice staring you in the face. And they were like, whatever, you're cheaper. No, it's not that. So sometimes, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying. I am
Yeah, it's the same story, really. I'm happy to work. The only time I was just shocked was getting Ryu. I mean, my jaw dropped when I got to audition, first of all. But then it's like, okay, I'll try for E Honda, M Bison, all these other El Fuerte, all these other characters. Like, all right. Hope for the best. See what happens. And again, Ryu, really? Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, you can. Earlier generation. Oh yeah, we did Street Fighter. I can't remember. We did that back in the early '90s.
The anime?
Not the anime. We did the prelay version of it.
Oh.
I was Ken and Blanca in that.
Ooh.
It had a really weird twist of fate. I was actually all the vocalizations of Blanca in the ill-fated live-action movie, which sadly was the great Raul Julia's last thing.
You did Blanca's
Oh yeah, all of it.
Wow, cool.
I want to be Scott Mango.
Yeah.
Can I be Kara for a while?
Wouldn't that be like a Freaky Friday thing? Or would it just be for a minute? Just for like one day.
I've been in the bathroom for days.
Pose yourself. Too much Sharpie.
It's a hard act.
Sharpie.
I can see that. Hear the color orange. See music.
I don't know if I can handle that brain for a day.
Crowded on me.
You'll be hearing voices.
Yeah, welcome to my world. You know what I've said many times. It's like I have taken a profound and debilitating mental illness and turned it into a fun and profitable career. I get to wear voices in my head. I gotta quit actually where they should tell you to have for me.
Mr. McNeil, do you go through the drive-thru and order in your searchable?
All the time, and I've gotten that question so many times, and you're the first person I've ever met that I actually believe you do.
I like going through drive-thrus and just speaking back in, girl and clown talk.
Or start off in one voice.
I'd like a Big Mac.
Yeah, that's a Big Mac.
I'm positive. What do you mean? Yeah, then you drive out there and they're going, "It's a bus or something." One guy's taking a moped. Hi.
You know, I get to drive in. Are you old enough to drive? Good.
Did you steal your mom's car? This isn't that kind of convention.
Yeah. So, Sharpie fumes.
That panel went south very quickly.
No, but
I'm gonna be the mother here. Stop it, boy.
Things started. We tend to absorb things. I absorb very quickly if I'm talking to someone from somewhere. When I was in Great Britain last year, because, there's a billion different regional dialects there, and I started off just doing dialects.
I didn't know where it was. Okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, I don't know where it's going either.
There.
It's like, if we talk to somebody, they were always going, "Where are you from?" And it was like, I could usually spin it back, and by the time I was answering, I was using exactly the same regional variant that they were using, and then they would hear me 2 minutes later saying something, I don't know.
Yeah, I've had 3 people already ask me if I'm Canadian, and I'm like, what? I'm from Texas. It's just because I've been like spending time with you guys.
Yeah, you know,
about.
think I'm from Texas.
Well, you definitely look like, 90% of the guys I grew up dating. Well, you look more Texan than any Texan I know.
Voice actor, man. Is that a good thing?
California wouldn't come. They have cowboys in Canada and Calgary.
Yes, they do.
Woohoo!
Rodeo in the entire world, the Calgary Stampede.
Woohoo!
The largest cattle ranch in the world is actually in Australia. The second largest cattle ranch is in British Columbia, where we live. You go to Calgary, you will see more cowboy hats than you will ever see in Texas.
It's true.
Right then you get people going like, how you all doing, eh?
Y'all think you come over?
What's that about?
Brad, you choose someone.
You.
That was so random.
I was just, he was going to step up. It was a whole team.
I got do the caramel dancing. Woo! Please.
No thanks.
Kara, you do it, please.
Scott,
You don't know what that
means?
Do I look like the kind of person that has the faintest idea what the hell that is?
You did it. You did it 2 years ago. I have video proof.
Kids, what goes on at Con stays on YouTube. Yeah, mostly teaching.
Come on.
Here's the banana that really got me.
Come on, Banana King.
And you wonder why I say no. It's because of all these little campers that will never let me live it down. So instead of that, I'm more into the Hamtaro closing credits dance. That's more my dance. You guys turned off your cameras for that though, right?